Hey, what's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the Barlow Zone, home of the one and only Demon Hunter King Kaido himself sent to Azeroth. How's everybody doing today? I almost didn't want to ask it because I got kind of a somber one scheduled for today. I'm gonna try and keep it as lighthearted as I can, but every now and then, when you're doing videos about stuff you just really feel about, uh, sometimes it can't be avoided. You get that somber video, but I am hoping with the script I got laid out for us here today that I found a way to leave us on a kind of a sweet note. Okay, so if you guys want to join me for a brief ride here, I want to start out by sending my condolences to the family of Tatsuya Nagamine. As I'm sure by the time I get this video edited and uploaded this afternoon, you guys will already have heard that the former anime director for the One Piece anime passed away today. And I really wanted to make sure I took the moment to send my condolences because, yeah, you guys know I'm not a fan of the anime. I don't watch it. Even with the Kuma backstory, I just watch some stuff, YouTube clips, stuff on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, stuff like that. I ended up getting the playthrough of the Kuma flashback through those videos. Uh, and I don't know. I'm not sure if he was still the anime director at that point. But even if he wasn't, we do need to remember that Film Z and the Wano arc are widely beloved, right? Like, uh, before we got to Wano, from what I had heard, a lot of the anime fans were really starting to teeter the line, right? Like dancing on that fence, do I want to stay committed to this anime or not? And then Wano happened and they went ham. Like some of those visuals were amazing. And again, like, X and YouTube, they always got clips of the really cool moments, right? So I wanted to start this video by sending my condolences to his family. I know they're never going to see my video, but on the off chance somebody does, I want them to know that, personally, even though I didn't like the anime, I appreciate everything you did for the One Piece community. Because there are a lot of fans of One Piece that are still fans to this day because of the effort you guys put in for Film Z and the Wano Kuni arc. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take 5 to 10 seconds real quick, no talking. I'll probably shut off the background music. Let's just a quick moment for the loss of somebody who helped make the One Piece anime great, But what I really want to talk about today is what I don't know if I'm gonna have it as the title or if it's just gonna be on the thumbnail, but Death, One Piece, and Oda. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only person who is worried about Oda, right? Like I mentioned, I think it was in my last video, it might have been a couple videos ago, that if Oda isn't able to write the end of his own story, I'm out. I'm checking out. I'm not going to read somebody else writing what they perceive to be the end of Oda's story based on notes he left behind. I'm going to go ahead and use Berserk as a reference. I've never read it. I have heard amazing things about it, like truly spectacular. Honestly, the stuff I hear is that it is one of the great manga of all time, one of the great graphic novels of all time. But the mangaka passed before they were able to finish telling their story, right? And Shueisha or whoever publishes it, they brought in another mangaka to continue the story from where it was at, right? And they had all these notes, all this stuff. But the truth is, the end of Berserk isn't going to be what the original mangaka planned. There are these tiny little nuances, dialogue that will not be remembered by somebody else trying to write the story. Uh, One-off panels that aren't going to be remembered that mean something when it comes down to the end of the story. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time at least, go over some of these things because yeah, Oda has been taking a lot of extra off weeks lately, right? Like I think the last few years we've only gotten 20-25 chapters a year, which is for a manga that does 30 to 35 per year, that's a substantial drop off in the amount of content being produced for the year. And for the most part, I do want to give credit where credit is due because uh, widely the community has accepted that these off weeks are important, right? But I have been noticing more comments recently when we get that surprise extra off week or uh a planned double off week or whatever. Fans are like, hey, what's going on here? Why are they trying to ruin the story? Like, they're not trying to ruin the story. Like, take a look at the offerings we have gotten since Wano, when the extra off weeks really started becoming a thing, right? Like, since Wano, just about every chapter, at worst every other chapter, has been, somebody talking about chapter of the year. This is one of the greatest chapters ever written, right? Like, Oda has been taking extra time off, but it's not like he's taking the time off and completely ignoring us, right? During those extra off weeks, like, you gotta believe with the quality we're getting, dude is still putting in time in his studio. Sure, Shueisha isn't expecting a chapter that week, but he is still doing it. Because, as I got here, our dude Oda, the mangaka himself, has an insane work schedule. Like, who among you, I'll be the first to admit, I couldn't live life on 3 hours of sleep a night. I just couldn't. Oda is built different than I am. And thank God, thank all the gods, thank whoever you choose to thank them. Because if Oda wasn't built different, this story might not be built different by extension, right? And so, we got these absolute fire chapters dropping one after the other. Oda is not taking a breath in between these stellar chapters he's been feeding us. Even when we get an extra off week. Y'all keep in mind, when we come back from that extra off week, that chapter is usually one of the ones that everybody's raving about. Dude is putting in work even when he doesn't need to be. That's that work ethic, right? And, part of it might just be Japanese culture. As I've mentioned a few times in a video, kids get jobs at much younger ages in Japan than they do, here in America, where I'm from. I can't comment on, Europe or Australia or Africa or any of them places, but compared to kids here in America who generally get their first job around, oh man, I wanted to say 16. I don't know. Can you call this an actual job, right? Like, even if I start making money off this, is this an actual job? I mean, kinda. Putting in the work, research, notes, scripts, all that, it adds up to some hours. For me, I don't think it's ever been an 8-hour day. For some other channels, perhaps it is a job, right? But one of the things I think that constantly flies under the radar when people want to start taking shots at these extra off weeks. Now, to be clear, I want to make it clear, at this point, we have not gotten confirmation that we're getting an extra off week. As far as we know, we are getting a chapter this weekend, so next weekend. Y'all, I gotta be honest, this not working thing is really messing with my brain. Like, anyway. As far as we know, there is just the one scheduled off week. Nothing's been announced, right? But Oda has a family, y'all. Like, this man has a wife and daughters, and he is sacrificing, like, time with his family. Like, he gets an extra off week. it is for your health, my dude. Like, I really hope Oda understands that these extra off weeks should be off. You shouldn't be working, fam. Like, I love and appreciate the fact that you feel like you need to keep going hard even when you don't have to. But I find myself more and more worried every week, even before the passing of Tatsuya Nagamine, right? Even before this, I have found myself increasingly worried that Oda's not going to see the end of his own story. And that's really sad to me, man, because if he doesn't see the end of his own story, then that means he's probably not going to see his daughters get married either. Like, can we accept and understand that Oda has sacrificed everything to bring us this world-class, going down in history story that is One Piece? And you know, we're always praising the work he puts in. We're always showing him respect for the work that he gives us, right? The offerings every week or every other week. We're always talking about how great Oda is doing, how peak the story of One Piece is, especially in the world of fiction, right? But I don't remember once in what, 09 to 25, 16 years of reading One Piece that the community has acknowledged any level of appreciation for the sacrifice Oda has made personally. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead to my last note here because I am convinced that Oda is Monkey D. Dragon. That character, the way that Dragon is written, you know, a lot of what Oda does with his characterization in the story is based on the people around him, himself, his family, friends, editors, anime directors, artists, stuff like that. A lot of the characters have little bits of these people's personality, which is part of the reason why it's so easy for us as a community to connect with even the bad guys. Like, even Dofi, people love Dofi to this day. Like, I even see people, you know, I don't understand it, I'm gonna be honest, but I even see people praising and, you know, loving on Emu. Like, stay away from me. Hit up the channel if you want, but stay away from me personally. I really feel like we aren't gonna get along if you love Emu. Unless you just love how well he's written as a bad guy. Because I do have a little bit of love for Emu there. Maybe I'll go into that in another video. Emu has kind of become my benchmark for how bad a bad guy in other content really is. But anyway, moving on. Because I do want to end the video on as positive of a note as I can, right? Like, this video is concerning death and the possibility that Oda doesn't write the end of his own story. These are all really scary thoughts for a lot of people in the community, especially for people who have been invested in the story for a long time, whether that's in the anime or the manga. However you choose to invest in the story of One Piece, you're in my heart, because like this is one of those stories that needs to be heard, right? Anyway, what can we as fans do, right? Because, I mean, first off, let's accept we're not going to influence the decisions made by Shueisha, especially from a non-Japanese fan base, right? But therein kind of lies the hook. One Piece is so much bigger than Shonen Jump, Shueisha, or Japanese culture. Like, One Piece is a story that is connected globally to countless different cultures and people and beliefs. So, as fans, perhaps there is the smallest little foothold and knuckle grab for us to hook onto to climb this mountain, to try to do something to show Oda how much we appreciate the sacrifice he has made to bring us this story. So, that is the first note I got here. being vocal about how much we appreciate this man, not just as a mangaka, not just as the author of the story of One Piece, but as a man. Because as I said, this man has sacrificed time with his own family, with his own daughters, to make sure we continue to get absolute magma every chapter. So being as vocal, as loud, as boisterous as you possibly can when you're expressing your appreciation and love, no doubt gonna go a long way. He might not see all of our posts. He might not see all of our text blocks on Tumblr or Facebook. He might not see all of our fan art on X or Tumblr or whatever you choose to do to show your appreciation. He might not see it all. But eventually, word will get out that us as fans are trying to communicate our appreciation back to him. That is probably the easiest thing anybody can do. You know, you get to thinking about One Piece, you want to type something up, you want to, do a cool, badass fan art about some characters you really love. Add a little something in there like, Oda, if it wasn't for you and the sacrifices you made, I wouldn't have the inspiration for this. Because it's the truth. Without One Piece, without Oda's sacrifice, there is no Sabo fan art. There is no Dragon fan art. There is no Gorosei fan art. There's none of this. There's no fan fiction. Without Oda, this thing that we have connected with doesn't exist. So if you love the story enough to post about it, perhaps consider taking some time to throw a hashtag on it. Hashtag Oda appreciation. Hashtag we love you, Oda. Something, right? Something to where our voices will start to be heard and reverberate through the community back to him. Secondly, accepting unplanned off weeks. Yeah, I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, especially as a content creator and a small channel content creator. Not having a fresh chapter every week sometimes makes it difficult for me to come up with something that'll be engaging for people to listen to. So, accepting these unplanned off weeks is going to go a long way. Like, none of the hate, none of the why are they messing up the story? Why did they cancel One Piece? Bro, they didn't cancel One Piece. They're trying to give Oda an extra breather. Advocating for more family time. If you're going to do a post praising Oda or a fan art with a hashtag for Oda, consider adding in something about hashtag more family time. Hashtag see your daughters get married. Something like that. Something so that Oda the man, not the mangaka, Oda the man can see that we care about him as much as he cares about us. And you know what? You can't even argue with the fact that Oda cares about his fans because, as I said, with all the health issues he's having, with his daughters approaching that age where they're going to start finding guys or girls, whatever their preference, to settle down with. And he's still giving us the focus. He's still giving us his attention. Still making sure every chapter is hot fire, something to talk about for a week, maybe two, with a planned off week. So advocating for him to have more family time, right? Be real big. And then I do have one more note, probably the biggest shot in the dark that we could take as a fan base, right? Let's make all of our voices one. Let's come together as a community and shout it. Get on top of your roof, make a video with what do they call those? The things the cops used to use all the time in TV shows? The megaphone. Good God, man, I'm even old enough to have used a megaphone. Get up there and use one of them while you're doing a video. Make sure you're being loud about it, right? But let's get all of our voices together and make sure Oda knows that we not only appreciate him, but we actively want him to take time off to focus on his health. Because, as I said in the beginning, man, if Oda doesn't write the end of his story, it's not going to be the end of One Piece. It just isn't. Without Oda, there is no end to the story of One Piece. He can leave all the notes, all the sketch ups he wants. At the end of the day, what has made One Piece so great, 2 leagues above anything else, are the little details, the things that we as fans latch onto because of something that connected to us. A new mangaka isn't going to remember all of those. So, as I said, it's not likely to happen, but if we can make our voice as a community loud enough that a news reporting agency, an ABC, a BBC News, does an article about the outcry of the fans of One Piece, perhaps, just ever so slight chance, as I said, perhaps Shueisha will consider giving Oda a month off, taking his desk, pen, and paper out of his house, and telling him, bro, go spend time with your family. It's what the fans want. If you really respect and appreciate your fans, then do what they're asking you to do. Focus on your health so you can deliver the end of your story. Now, this one wasn't really a theory, but I would still, honestly, more so than any of the theory videos I did, I would love to know what you guys think about this one, because this is more of a hot topic than any theory crafter could come up with around One Piece. We're talking about the legacy of this story. How One Piece will be remembered at the end of the day. That's important. So, let me know what you guys think. Are you on board with Oda getting a month or 2 off away from work entirely? Are you on board with doing a hashtag movement? Hashtag love Oda, hashtag appreciate Oda, hashtag more family time for Oda. Are you on board with doing something like this? What are your ideas to come together as a community and show Oda how much we love the sacrifice he has made for us? Because I think it's about time we start really considering what we can do for this man who has sacrificed everything to make sure we're getting the content we're fiending for. So, as always, let me know in the comments. If a YouTube comment isn't enough for you, feel free to hit me up on either of my socials, X or Tumblr, or join the Discord community, the Barlow Zone. Links to all 3 of those will be in the comments. And, if you guys are enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know that you're hearing what's being said and you're liking what you're hearing. As always, though, fam, much love. Have a good one.